The first is running back Jonathan Taylor. I know that he hasn't quite lived up to expectations, but I think it's going to get better. He has the easiest remaining fantasy schedule for running backs going forward, and there's been big opportunity his way already. He is 35% of the Colts touches this year. Phillip Rivers is throwing to running backs over 8 times per game. That is the 6th most in the NFL. And Taylor's snaps have increased in every single week since week 3. So the opportunity is there. Now the schedule is about to open up for him. I really think he can be a league winner in the second half of the season, much like rookie Miles Sanders was last year.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the snap counts because in week 2, he was out there for 67% of the snaps. And we thought, okay, here we go. The following week, it dropped down to 40%. And then, like you said, it's been steadily climbing. Week 6, it came back almost completely. It was 59%. But remember, that was a game where the Colts fell behind early. And I think that took them out of their game plan. So this week, I don't know if you would agree with this, Mike, but I think that he's back at a 60% or higher snap share this week.
I think so. This is a good week for him. The Lions are allowing a lot of fantasy points to running backs you could run on this team. And it's a game that I expect to be at least close, if not the Colts winning. So I think that that game script bodes well for Jonathan Taylor.
All right, well, if I don't trade him away because of your advice, I'll cross my fingers because I do have him on a few of my fantasy squads. So hopefully he gets in the end zone this week.
That's a great
Florio,
point. That's a great point.
What?
This is also a segment of like, don't trade this player. I think because if you should trade for him, but if you have him, like, don't trade Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, you just proved the point on why I should hold on to him, unless I'm struggling at another position. But all right, Florio, tee us up on your next guy.
Eagles wide receiver Travis Fulgham, just like Jonathan Taylor has the easiest schedule for running backs, he has the easiest remaining fantasy schedule for wide receivers. And again, just like Taylor, the volume has been there for Fulgham. He has 10 or more targets in 3 straight games. He has a touchdown in 3 of his 4 games this year, and his 29% target share since week 5 is by far the highest on the team. This is a Philly team that is just searching for someone healthy. They have no Deshaun Jackson. We haven't seen Alshon Jeffrey yet. Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert are banged up. There's big time opportunity for Fulgham every single week, and now with the favorable matchups and Carson Wentz playing better, I think he's very much for real, and I'm not sure if everyone else thinks so. So I think go out and try to get him right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, Mr. Florio, is James Coe and I have a team in the League of Leagues it's a 14-team league. I used a couple of weeks ago, I used a third of our fab budget to pick up Fulgham, and people are like, "Are you sure about this?" I'm like, "Oh yes, I'm definitely sure." And now it's just starting to play off. So I'm in a complete agreement. But I have to say one thing about this Travis Fulgham situation. Mike Davis played for the Bears for about an hour, and all I've heard about was the former Bears running back. Blah, blah, blah. The same thing happened last year with Raheem Mostert, former Bear. Like he played for 90 teams. Here's my thing. Travis Fulgham was once a member of the Green Bay Packers. Did you know that? Have they talked about that? Have people not been shouting it from the rooftops? A team that could use a number 2 wide receiver? Packers, you had Travis Fulgham. I want you to own that. I want you to wear that. And I want everybody to be talking about it this week.
Rank, I thought we were saving the Ranks rant for later on in the show,
Run
but I
my
guess
animation.
you've just gone out and done it already. I guess you've just gone out and done it already. All right, Florio, let's get back on track here. Who is your third guy on the trading block?
It is Bears running back David Montgomery, who has the 3rd easiest schedule for fantasy running backs the rest of the way. And I know I said to go out and try to get Jonathan Taylor. Well, like you said, Kimmy, a lot of people who have him may not want to deal him, especially with the state of running back. I think it'll be a lot easier to go and get David Montgomery, who, much like Taylor, has already been seeing a volume increase. He has 17.3 touches per game this season. That's in the top 20 amongst running backs. But what I really like is the targets since Tariq Cohen has gone down. 6 per game. That is since week 4. That is tied for the 2nd most amongst running backs. The yardage hasn't been great, but he's going to get the opportunities each week. He's going to get the goal line opportunities as well. And now with that schedule improving and really opening up the rest of the way, I think he can be a very sneaky RB2 with a lot of upside.
I don't know. Floria, I'm getting the same feeling I got when I read Jay Cutler's Instagram today. I'm just not sure about what I'm seeing here. I want to believe that it's true. And you wonder, too, if Matt Nagy is eventually going to give up the play calling duties to Bill Lazor, if that could switch things around. But I think ultimately they need some help on the interior offensive line. That to me is a little bit of a problem. I really wish that they would go out at the trade deadline and try to swing some sort of deal. They're really in it. I know everybody wants to write the Bears off because of one bad game. I want to remind them, everybody, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that humiliated the Green Bay Packers the following week. And I don't remember anybody writing off the Green Bay Packers, but apparently one bad game for the Bears on the road against one of the best, if not the best team in the NFC. And apparently they're the worst team in the history of organized football. But whatever, go on. You know what? You've convinced me. Maybe I will go out and try to get as much David Montgomery shares as possible.